The message came on a Tuesday. Every communication device on Earth crackled simultaneously with the same alien frequency, a haunting, multilayered sound that scientists would later describe as mathematics made audible. Global panic lasted precisely 8 hours before the world's militaries admitted they'd been preparing for this moment for decades. In the underground command center beneath Geneva, Captain Elena Reyes stood rigidly at attention as the United Earth Defense Council reviewed the translated message for the 5th time. The Draken Imperium advances. Vexari civilization faces extinction. We have observed your species. You possess what we lack. Help us, Terrans. Admiral Harrison Wells, his weathered face illuminated by holographic displays, shook his head. It's a trap. Why would an advanced civilization reach out to us? We've barely touched Mars. Because they're desperate, Rice said, earning sharp glances from the 12 council members. She hadn't been invited to speak. Permission to address the council. Sir. The admiral nodded reluctantly. The message mentions the Draken Imperium. They're not asking for our technology. They have better. They're asking for something else. Something they think we have that they don't. Dr. Eliza Chen, head of xenolinguistics, enlarged a portion of the transmission. Captain Rice is correct. The original message contains nuances our translation missed. The Vexari don't lack technological capability. They lack. She paused, searching for the word. Aggression. Capacity for violence. The ability to fight. Silence fell across the chamber. General Santos laughed bitterly. So after millennia of philosophers lamenting humanity's violent nature, some aliens want our help precisely because we're dangerous. Not just dangerous, Chen corrected. Protective. Their message specifically references historical instances where humans sacrificed themselves for others, even strangers. They've been watching us. The council erupted in debate. Rice remained still, haunted by memories of Venezuela, of watching her squad die one by one in that jungle hellscape. 5 years had passed, yet the nightmares remained. Admiral Wells approached her afterward. The council has made its decision. We're sending the Harbinger to Vexari space. Sir. With you in command, Captain. You're being promoted to mission commander, effective immediately. Rice blinked. Admiral, with respect. This isn't about Venezuela, he interrupted. It's about who you became after. Someone who understands both the necessity of force and its cost. He handed her a data tablet. Choose your crew. You depart in 72 hours. 3 days later, Reyes stood on the observation deck of humanity's first and only interstellar vessel, watching Earth shrink to a pale blue dot. Dr. Chen joined her, clutching a portable translator. Are we making a mistake? Reyes asked quietly. Possibly, Chen replied. But consider the alternative. If these Draken conquer the Vexari, they'll eventually find us. We're choosing when and where the confrontation happens. Reyes nodded, her hand unconsciously touching the scar along her jawline. Tell the crew to prepare for transit. And Dr. Chen, update our response to the Vexari. What should it say, Commander? Reyes turned, her eyes reflecting the distant stars. Tell them help is coming. And so is humanity's wrath. The Harbinger vanished into the darkness, carrying Earth's first interstellar expedition, and the most dangerous weapon the galaxy had never expected, human fury with purpose. The Harbinger emerged from hyperspace above Vexari Prime, and silence fell across the bridge. Where they had expected a thriving civilization, they found devastation. Orbital platforms drifted as burning wrecks. The planet's surface bore massive impact craters visible even from space. Life signs. Commander Rice asked, her voice tight. Lieutenant Park studied his console. Scattered concentrations underground. And Commander, we're being scanned. Defensive posture, Rice ordered. Open communications on all frequencies. Before they could transmit, 3 sleek vessels materialized from behind Vexari's smaller moon. Their design was radically different from the elegant Vexari architecture they'd studied during transit, all sharp angles and matte black surfaces that seemed to devour light. "Draken," Dr. Chen whispered. The enemy ships launched what appeared to be boarding pods toward the Harbinger. Rais had seconds to decide. Tactical, target those pods. Controlled bursts only. The Harbinger's point defense system activated, destroying 2 pods. The third slammed into their hull near the cargo bay. "Security team to deck 4, Rais commanded, grabbing her sidearm. "Dr. Chen, with me. The rest of you, keep those ships occupied." In the cargo bay, Rais and her security team encountered the Draken for the first time. Tall, armored figures moved with cold precision, their helmets concealing any facial features. They carried energy weapons that left scorch marks on the bulkheads. "Non-lethal force if possible," Rais ordered. "We need intelligence." The security team deployed sonic disruptors, crowd control technology repurposed for first contact. The Draken's movements stuttered as the sound waves hit them, but they adjusted quickly, modifying their armor in real time. One Draken soldier aimed at Dr. Chen. Without hesitation, Rais fired her sidearm, not at the alien's weapon, but at a maintenance panel above it. Superheated steam erupted, engulfing the Draken. In the confusion, Rais tackled the alien, tearing its modified helmet off. Cold, reptilian eyes blinked in shock. The Draken hissed something their translators couldn't process. "Fall back," Rais shouted as more boarders breached the hull. "Seal the bulkheads." As her team retreated, a different alarm sounded. "Commander," came the tactical officer's voice. "New contacts. They're Vexari ships. They're engaging the Draken." The battle was brief but decisive. The Vexari vessels deployed technology far beyond the Draken's capabilities, forcing the attackers to retreat. Hours later, in the Harbinger's conference room, Rais met the Vexari High Council, or what remained of it. Elder Xillarine, their leader, resembled a translucent humanoid with iridescent patterns flowing beneath his skin. "We did not expect the Draken to detect your arrival so quickly," Xillarine said through the translator. "You fought them, effectively." "That was defense, not fighting," Rais replied. "You haven't seen humans fight yet." The Vexari delegates exchanged glances. "We have observed your species for generations," Xillarine continued. "Your history is violent, yes, but you protect what you value with a ferocity unmatched in our experience." "The Draken strip mine worlds for resources," another elder explained. "They conquered half the galactic arm without resistance. We possess superior technology, but lack the neural architecture for warfare. Our species evolved without predators." "And humans?" Rais asked. "You evolved asterisk as asterisk predators," Xillarine said simply. "The Draken have never encountered a species like yours, one that fights more fiercely when defending others than when defending itself." Rais studied the alien delegation. "How many other worlds are under Draken control?" 17 civilizations, billions of sentient beings. "Then we'll need more than the Harbinger," Rais said, standing. "I'm calling Earth." The Draken wanted a fight. They're about to learn what happens when humans go to war. Word spread quickly through the subjugated worlds. Whispers of strange new allies who had bloodied the Draken. Of creatures called humans who fought with a savagery that made even the implacable Imperium retreat. Within 2 weeks, the Harbinger had become an interstellar embassy. Commander Rais stood at the viewport, watching as the 12th alien delegation docked. Insectoid beings from Klivex, whose crystalline exoskeletons refracted light into mesmerizing patterns. That makes representatives from all the conquered systems except Norvalian Prime, Dr. Chen noted, reviewing her datapad. "And Earth has approved your request. The first fleet departs in 6 days." Rais nodded. "Have you finished analyzing the Draken tech we salvaged?" "Dr. Patel has. He's waiting in the lab." In the converted cargo bay, Dr. Sanjay Patel stood surrounded by alien visitors. The brilliant physicist had become an unexpected diplomat. his enthusiasm for new technologies breaking through cultural barriers. "Commander," he called. "Perfect timing. We've made a breakthrough." Around him, the Vexari scientists stepped aside, revealing a modified Earth assault rifle mounted on a testing platform. "The Draken armor adapts to energy-based attacks," Paddle explained, "but our projectile weapons confuse their defensive systems. We've now integrated Vexari gravitic technology with human ballistics." He activated the rifle remotely. It fired a standard bullet that suddenly accelerated mid-flight, punching through a Draken armor plate with devastating force. "Mass accelerated by gravitic fields," Paddle grinned. "Primitive meets advanced." A tall, tentacled being, Admiral Skavar of the Telosian Defense Force, made a sound that the translator rendered as appreciative whistling. "Such weapons could free my homeworld," he said, "but our people cannot wield them effectively. We lack your instinct." Ray studied the gathered representatives, technologically advanced species who had evolved without humanity's capacity for violence, species who built magnificent civilizations, while Earth's ancestors were still fighting with sticks and stones. "Then we'll teach you," she decided, "not just to use our weapons, but our tactics." The Draken expect submission. They don't expect guerrilla warfare. That afternoon, the Coalition Pact was signed in the Harbinger's mess hall, the only space large enough to accommodate all 12 species. As the designated representatives formalized their alliance, Commander Rice sat with her senior officers, reviewing intelligence from Earth. "The Draken have been observing us for centuries," she told them quietly. "Long-range probes at the edge of our solar system. They classified Earth as a potential threat world nearly 1,000 years ago." Lieutenant Park frowned. "Then why haven't they attacked us yet?" According to Vexari intelligence, the Draken Emperor considers humans uniquely dangerous, the only species they've encountered with both advanced problem-solving and natural aggression. Rise tapped the screen. "They've been waiting for us to destroy ourselves." "And now?" asked Dr. Chen. Rise looked across the room at their new allies, beings who had suffered under Draken oppression for generations, beings who now looked to humanity with hope. "Now they'll wish they had dealt with us sooner." She stood, addressing the gathered coalition. "The Draken believe themselves to be the apex predators of the galaxy. It's time they learned they're wrong." Across 12 worlds, resistance cells activated. On Earth, warships prepared for departure. And in the Draken Emperor's sanctum, alarm spread as reports arrived of coordinated strikes against their outposts, attacks displaying tactics they had never encountered before. Human tactics: hit and fade. Never engage where they expect you. Strike where they're weak, then disappear before reinforcements arrive. Commander Rise, now Admiral Rise, following Earth's official declaration of war against the Draken, addressed the mixed crew of humans and aliens aboard the stealth vessel Phantom. 3 weeks of intensive training had transformed scholars and scientists into passable soldiers, not through any natural aptitude, but through determination born of desperation. "Rathic outpost in visual range," Lieutenant Park announced from tactical. "Defenses as expected." The Rathic system was a critical Draken supply hub. Its destruction would disrupt Imperial operations across 3 sectors. "Coalition teams in position?" Rise asked. "Affirmative. Telosian infiltrators have disabled their early warning systems. Vexari tech specialists have inserted our electronic countermeasures." Rise nodded. "Execute Operation Thunderstrike." Simultaneously, 20 small craft launched from hidden positions around the Draken outpost. Human-designed attack patterns executed with alien technology created confusion among the defenders. By the time the Draken command realized they were under full assault rather than facing a minor incursion, Coalition forces had already breached the facility's inner perimeter. Rise led the central strike team, moving efficiently through the labyrinthine structure. The Draken they encountered fought with cold precision, but lacked the adaptability to counter the humans' unconventional tactics. "Admiral," called Surgeon Diaz, "we've secured the command center, but you need to see this." In a vast chamber beyond the command hub, hundreds of transparent containment pods lined the walls. Each held a Vexari child, connected to machinery that pulsed with sickly green light. "What is this place?" Rise demanded of the captured Draken commander. The alien's translator produced a cold, mechanical voice. "Genetic harvesting facility. The Vexari possess certain adaptable traits." Dr. Chen scanned the nearest pod with a Vexari medical device. "They're extracting genetic material and modifying it, weaponizing it." Her voice shook. "These children are being turned into living weapons." Reyes felt something dangerous ignite inside her, a cold fury beyond anything she'd experienced in combat. "Get these children out. All of them. Prepare them for emergency evacuation." "Admiral." Lieutenant Park's voice came through her comm. "Draken reinforcements incoming. Heavily armed." "How many ships?" "Just one. But it's a Draken worldbreaker." Silence fell across the command channel. Even the alien coalition members knew what that meant. The Draken were deploying their most destructive warship, one capable of reducing planets to asteroid fields. "They're transmitting data," the communications officer reported. "Research files from this facility to the Draken command network." "Block the transmission," Rise ordered. Too late. Partial data package already sent. Rise made her decision. "All teams, accelerate evacuation. Get those children and our people to the extraction points. Rig this facility to blow." As coalition forces raced to evacuate the Vexari children, Rise contacted the human fleet waiting at the edge of the system. "This is Admiral Rise to Earth Command. The situation has escalated. We're dealing with crimes against sentient beings that violate every principle of civilized existence." Her voice hardened. "Request immediate deployment of the full Earth defense fleet. The Draken aren't just conquerors, they're monsters." As the Phantom cleared the doomed facility, Rise watched the Draken worldbreaker emerge from hyperspace. Its massive form blotted out the stars, a visible manifestation of imperial power. "They wanted our wrath," she whispered. "Now they'll have it." Silence gripped the Coalition Command Center. On the main view screen, Mars colony burned. 7 million human colonists, gone in minutes. Admiral Reyes stood motionless, watching the Draken broadcast loop again. Void Admiral Krax, the Emperor's most feared commander, delivered his message with cold precision. "This demonstration was necessary. Your species lacks the wisdom to recognize its proper place in the galactic order. Withdraw your forces immediately or Earth will receive the same lesson." For 3 months, the combined human-alien coalition had waged an increasingly successful campaign against Draken outposts. For 3 months, humanity had believed they were winning. Now this. "Admiral," Communications Officer Chen said quietly, "we're receiving transmissions from Earth." The United Earth Defense Council appeared on screen. Their faces reflected the same shock and rage Rice felt. Mars colony was defenseless, General Santos said, his voice tight with controlled fury. "A scientific outpost. There were children there." "The Draken have made a critical error," Admiral Wells interjected. "They believe this would break our resolve. Instead, Earth stands united as never before. The production of warships has been accelerated. Every nation has pledged its full resources." Reyes found her voice. "How long until the reinforcements arrive?" "The first wave exits hyperspace in 6 hours. An additional fleet every 12 hours after that." When the transmission ended, Reyes turned to the coalition representatives. Their alien features displayed emotions her human brain couldn't fully interpret, but their body language conveyed clear unease. Zillarine, the Vexari elder, approached her. "Admiral, we grieve with you. This atrocity was meant to make us retreat," Rice finished. "It won't. We have observed human history," Zillarine said carefully. "Your species responds to threats against your young with particular intensity." "You mean rage," Rice corrected. "Yes. The Draken just guaranteed that this conflict won't end until they're defeated completely. In the days that followed, Earth vessels poured into Coalition space. Not the handful of retrofitted ships from before, but purpose-built warships crewed by humanity's finest. Ships with names that reflected humanity's new purpose: retribution, vengeance, wrath. The Draken, expecting capitulation, found themselves facing an enemy transformed by grief into something terrible. At the Coalition War Council, Rise unveiled the new offensive. We're not fighting for territory anymore. We're taking the war directly to the Draken homeworlds. Such an assault has never succeeded, objected Admiral Skavar. Their core systems are too heavily defended, which is why we'll use their own tactics against them, Rise explained, displaying intelligence gathered from captured Draken databases. Dr. Patel's team has identified a fundamental weakness in Draken physiology. Dr. Patel stepped forward. Their auditory processing centers are hypersensitive to specific frequencies, an evolutionary adaptation that once gave them advantages as predators. We can weaponize those frequencies to incapacitate them without harming other species. The Coalition representatives exchanged glances. You propose to attack their homeworld? Asked Taxilarine. I propose to end this war, Rise replied, before they harm anyone else. Some Coalition members looked troubled. The Vexari scientist, Devora, whispered to her companion. They attack with such calculated precision now. Is this truly better than Draken rule? But none voiced their concerns aloud. Not when human warships were their only hope. Operation Thunderclap begins tomorrow, Rise announced. May whatever gods you believe in have mercy on the Draken. Because humanity won't. The human-led armada emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Draken hegemony. 117 vessels, a force unprecedented in recent galactic history. At its center, the dreadnought Nemesis carried Admiral Rise and the sonic weapon that would exploit the Draken's evolutionary weakness. Rise stood on the bridge, watching tactical displays as Draken defense platforms registered their arrival. Time until they mobilized their fleet, she asked. 17 minutes at current response rates, Lieutenant Park replied. Rise nodded. Proceed with Phase 1. Across the fleet, specially modified shuttles launched, each carrying small teams of human special forces paired with Vexari technicians. Their mission: infiltrate and disable the orbital defense grid protecting the Draken throne world, Morvex Prime. Admiral, Communications Officer Chen called. We're receiving a transmission from Void Admiral Krax. The Draken commander's reptilian features appeared on screen. For the first time, his usual cold detachment showed cracks of genuine concern. This incursion is futile, human, Krax stated. Your species has proven more resilient than anticipated, but you cannot hope to threaten the Imperial throne. We're not here to threaten, Rise replied evenly. We're here to end this. The Draken Empire dies today. Before Krax could respond, alarms blared across the Draken defense network. One by one, their orbital platforms went dark as infiltration teams completed their objectives. Phase 1 complete, Park announced. Defense grid compromised. The Draken home fleet emerged from the shadow of Morvex Prime, warships that dwarfed even the largest human vessels. A battle unfolded across the star system, unlike anything witnessed in millennia. Human tactics merged with alien technology created devastation on an unimaginable scale. On the Nemesis, Dr. Patel monitored the sonic weapon's power levels. Ready to deploy on your command, Admiral. Rise hesitated, watching as Coalition forces pushed ever closer to the throne world. The casualty reports scrolled past, human and alien allies dying by the hundreds as they penetrated deeper into Draken territory. A direct channel opened from Captain Rodriguez on the cruiser Vindication. Admiral, we've broken through. We have a clear shot at their command citadel. Fire the weapon, Rise ordered. The Nemesis released a concentrated burst of energy toward Morvex Prime. Invisible to the naked eye, the weapon propagated harmonic frequencies precisely calibrated to Draken neurophysiology. On the planet's surface, Draken soldiers collapsed, overwhelmed by auditory agony. Their ships drifted as crews writhed in pain, unable to maintain control systems. "It's working," Chen reported, monitoring planetary communications. "Their defense forces are incapacitated. Deploy ground teams," Rice commanded. "Secure their command centers and the Imperial Palace." As coalition forces launched toward the surface, Rice received an unexpected message from Silurine. "Admiral." The Vexeri Elder's voice was troubled. Some coalition members expressed concern about the weapon's effects. "The Draken young are suffering equally." Rice closed her eyes briefly. "The Draken showed no mercy to our children on Mars." "Yes," Silurine acknowledged. "And if you respond in kind, what differentiates you from them?" Before Reyes could answer, tactical alarms blared. "Admiral," Park shouted, "Void Admiral Krax's flagship is on a direct course for the Nemesis. Impact in 30 seconds. Evasive maneuvers." Too late. They've locked tractor beams on us. As the massive Draken vessel approached on a collision course, Reyes made her decision. "Prepare a boarding party. We're taking this fight directly to Krax." The boarding tubes connected with a metallic shriek. Admiral Reyes led the assault team onto Krax's flagship, the inevitable Dominion. Behind her, elite human soldiers moved with practiced precision, their hybrid weapons ready. "The sonic disruptor is affecting their crew," Lieutenant Park reported, "but readings show adaptive shielding in the command center. Krax is still operational." Reyes nodded. "Then we do this the hard way." They fought through corridors lined with incapacitated Draken soldiers. Those few with partial protection from the sonic weapon were still disoriented, no match for trained human combatants. Rice felt no satisfaction in the one-sided battle, only grim determination to end the war. "Command center ahead," Park announced. "Heavy shielding. We'll need to breach manually." As engineers set charges on the massive doors, Reyes's comm unit activated. Dr. Chen's voice came through, tense and urgent. "Admiral, we've intercepted transmissions from the Draken Emperor. They've activated some kind of dead man switch. If their command structure falls, automated systems will launch planet killers at 12 coalition homeworlds." Reyes froze. "Can we stop them?" "Not remotely. The launch systems are hardwired, designed specifically to resist our interference." The charges on the command center door were ready. Reyes faced an impossible choice: press the attack and risk genocide against their allies, or retreat and leave the Draken Empire intact. "Hold position," she ordered her team. "I'm going in alone." "Admiral," Park began to object. "That's an order. If I'm not back in 10 minutes, fall back to the Nemesis and prepare to retreat." The doors parted just enough for Reyes to slip through. Inside, the command center was eerily quiet. Sophisticated shielding protected its occupants from the sonic weapon's effects. At its center stood Void Admiral Krax, his scaled form imposing even in defeat. "Admiral Reyes," he acknowledged. "I expected a killing stroke, not a conversation." "Your Emperor has 12 planet killers aimed at our allies," Reyes stated flatly. "Call them off." Krax's expression remained impassive. "You mistake our purpose, human. The Draken Empire does not seek extermination. We seek evolution." He gestured toward a holographic display showing the galaxy. "For millennia, we have guided development through selective pressure. Species that cannot adapt do not deserve to continue. It is the natural order." "There's nothing natural about genocide," Reyes countered. "Is that what you believe?" Krax's eyes narrowed. "Your own species rose to dominance through competition and conquest. You eliminated your planetary rivals and stand now as Earth's apex predator. We merely operate on a galactic scale." The comparison struck uncomfortably close to human history. Reyes pushed the thought aside. "You attacked a defenseless colony, children, and you deployed a weapon affecting our entire species, including our young," Krax replied. "We are more alike than different, Admiral." He stepped closer. The Emperor offers terms. Join us. Humanity has proven its evolutionary fitness. Together, we could shepherd the galaxy far more effectively than either species alone. Ray studied the Draken commander, not the monster she'd imagined, but something perhaps more dangerous. A true believer in a merciless philosophy. We are nothing alike, she said finally. Humans protect the vulnerable. We don't prey on them. Krax tilted his head. Is that truly what you believe your species represents? Look at what you've done in this war. Your wrath is magnificent. Admiral, it would serve the galaxy well alongside ours. The comm unit in Reyes's ear crackled. Admiral, Dr. Patel's voice came through. We found something. There may be another way. What is it, Dr. Patel? Reyes kept her eyes fixed on Krax. We've isolated the planet killer launch protocols. Patel's voice came through her comm. They require continuous biometric authorization from the Emperor himself. If we modify our sonic weapon to target only his specific neurological pattern, the dead man switch deactivates without harming the general population. Reyes finished. Krax's expression shifted subtly. An elegant solution, but it changes nothing. Even if you spare our worlds, the Draken Empire will rebuild. This conflict will continue for generations. It doesn't have to. Reyes lowered her weapon. Your philosophy isn't entirely wrong, Admiral Krax. Species do need challenges to evolve. But those challenges don't have to be extinction-level threats. She approached the galaxy display. Humanity spent millennia fighting itself before we realized cooperation advanced us further than competition. We nearly destroyed ourselves learning that lesson. For the first time, uncertainty flickered across Krax's features. What are you proposing? A new galactic concord, one where the Draken's drive for advancement is channeled into something constructive, where strength protects rather than subjugates. The Emperor would never agree to surrender. I'm not asking for surrender. I'm offering transformation. On the Nemesis, Dr. Patel recalibrated the sonic weapon, narrowing its focus to target the unique neural patterns of the Draken Emperor. Across the Draken homeworld, the incapacitating effect began to lift from the general population, while intensifying around the Imperial Palace. Within minutes, the Emperor's guard transmitted his capitulation. 3 days later, representatives from all coalition species gathered aboard the Nemesis. The Draken delegation, led by Krax himself, arrived under guard, but not in chains. Some of my own officers believe I've made a mistake, Reyes confided to Silurine as they waited for the proceedings to begin. They wanted the Draken exterminated completely. And some of our coalition members fear humanity almost as much as they feared the Draken, the Vexari Elder replied. Your species' capacity for violence is matched only by your capacity for mercy. Both are terrifying in their way. The formal signing of the Galactic Concord established new boundaries and responsibilities. The Draken Empire would be dismantled, its resources dedicated to rebuilding what they had destroyed. In exchange, their civilization would be spared. Humanity would lead a peacekeeping force to ensure compliance. When the ceremonies concluded, Void Admiral Krax, now simply Delegate Krax, approached Reyes privately. You had the power to eradicate us, he said. Why didn't you use it? Because then we would have become what we fought against, Reyes answered. Humanity's wrath is terrible, but our compassion is what truly separates us from monsters. Krax considered this. The Vexari called for aid expecting warriors. They received something more complex. They receive humans, Reyes said simply. 1 year later, Admiral Reyes stood on the observation deck of the newly commissioned peacekeeping vessel Reconciliation. Below, the first joint human-Draken scientific outpost took shape on a formerly contested world. Beside her, Lieutenant Park handed her a data tablet. The latest reports from the reclamation projects. 17 worlds restored, 34 species saved from extinction. Reyes nodded, watching as former enemies worked side by side. When the Vexari called for our wrath, she reflected, They never expected it would lead to peace. Is that what we've achieved? Park asked. Not yet, Rise replied, her gaze fixed on the stars. But for the first time in galactic history, it's possible. And that possibility was worth fighting for.